Fallout, one of the most popular video game franchises of all time, one that I personally love and I played to death, and now the game has also inspired a board game that is being demoed here at Gen Con 2017, and it's coming out, I believe, soon or soon.
And by the end of the year.
By the end of the year for Fantasy Flight Games, and Matt has agreed to tell us a little bit about the game as he's teaching it to some young gentlemen, some fine folks that are gonna play it next. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, players.
Great. So guys, like you said, this is based straight off the video game. Is everyone familiar with Fallout?
Oh yes.
Yes, obviously. There were a couple people yesterday that said no, and I almost fell out of my chair. So much like the video game, it's based off of exploration and quests. So we start with a quest, Welcome to the Commonwealth. And from that quest, we open up more and more exploration and quest opportunities that are pulled out of this deck. So this one card can branch out and spawn into any number of variables contained within this deck. And currently the original game has about that many more cards that we stripped out that we knew weren't going to be used. So there's a lot of replayability and variety in the game right out of the gate. So we all start in the main quest area or the main starting tile here and move out into the world. The green zones are generally safer. These are generally more dangerous out here, so the further you get out into the wastes. So you'll start, there'll be a quest that you all go on. You can choose to pursue that quest, or just like in Fallout, you can just run around and explore and kill stuff. It's entirely up to you guys. And so you will open up the map as we go and encounter different creatures and cities and ruins. This icon right here is a ruin. If you go there, you can encounter the ruin and explore and maybe get loot or maybe get killed by a deathclaw, who knows. And then this encounter token here looks kind of like a bus, is a city encounter, and that's mostly, there's some encounters that happen there, but that's mostly where the shopping happens. Here's your shop. So there's always 4 items in the shop. And then when you get there, you draw another item, and this is the cap cost. Although none of you will probably get enough to buy a sniper rifle in this quick game because of the line and whatever. We're just going to do 2 turns for everyone today, okay?
Sure.
Great, so let's go to the characters. There are 5 main characters in the game. I took out the Wastelander, which is just kind of a basic human character, because of the 5, he's the most boring, and I thought it'd be more fun to play with these. Here we have the Super Mutant. Super Mutant's special ability is that every time he gets exposed to radiation, he takes radiation damage, but also gains experience. So what does kill him makes him stronger. The Ghoul doesn't take any radiation from radiation exposure, actually heals from it, and the Ghoul's maximum hit points is actually 12. But they can never take damage from radiation. The Vault Dweller starts with a Vault Suit, which is a little bit of armor and gives them a chance to re-roll some of their dice, which is something none of the other characters start out with. And then the, what's he called? Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel starts with power armor, which makes him slow, but literally a tank. And who doesn't want that? So there are difficult terrain spots, and some of these tiles have radiation spots. If you move into a radiation zone, you take 1 point of radiation damage and your marker moves up, except for you. If you take physical damage from a creature or an event, your hit point marker goes down. If your radiation marker and your hit point marker meet, you die. At which point you respawn at the beginning tile, just like in the video game, and head back out into the waste. Okay?
What's the difference between the green and the red tile?
These are generally more difficult encounters, and these are generally easier. You can also have traits associated to your character, which are these little things right here that you can gain. The Super Mutant starts with a Super Mutant trait. The Ghoul starts as Vilified. You can also be the opposite of Vilified, which is Renowned. Renowned, yeah. Not quite right, but remember the name later. You can also, if you take a camp action, become well rested, just like in the video game, and you can use that well rested token to re-roll a failed roll later in the game. Let's see.
How do you kill stuff?
How do you kill
if I may
stuff?
ask?
You may. There are 3 dice that you roll for any encounter or any combat. The dice have bursts on them, and they also, if you recognize from the video game, have the bat symbol.
Yeah.
So get certain different creatures have targets on them. In order to hit the Raider Scum, you must roll head or chest on the bats. For every head or chest you roll, you do a point of damage. For every burst on the dice, they do damage to you.
Nice.
Your characters will level up over the course of their journeys. Sorry, we gotta start with some creatures on the board here. Start with a Mr. Gutsy and a Super Mutant. Why not? So the SPECIAL is the leveling system that they use for the game. Just game. Whenever you gain experience, your cube will move to the next letter that you have. You gain another experience, it will move to the next letter, and then if you exceed the end, it wraps back around, and you draw a new letter for your line. So you get more powerful, but it takes longer to level as you go in the game.
Sure.
It's a game. Different items have little letters on them. So the sniper rifle has a P and an A. If you have a corresponding letter slotted to you, that grants you a reroll for that item or event or whatever. So if I'm shooting a sniper rifle, I get a roll. If I also have a P and an A on my character, I get up to 2 rerolls, one for the P and one for the A. There's no real rhyme or reason. Guns don't tend to have P and A, so there's no really way to plan for it, but diversifying helps.
Sure.
There's also, if you happen to draw another S or an E or one that you currently have, there are perks that you can get based off of those that give you a one-time, pretty powerful boost to your character. All right, just quick go through the actions and let's get this thing rolling. On your turn, you can do up to 6 different actions. You can do a move action, which gives you 2 movement points. Moving from one zone to another is 1 point. Moving into a red zone, which is difficult terrain, costs 2 points. You can split that movement up and do an action in between. So you can move 1 point, fight something, and then use your second point of action. Okay? You can do an explore action. If you are adjacent to an unexplored tile, you can spend one of your actions to flip it over and explore it. You can do a fight action. If you're in the same area as a creature, you can choose to fight it. You can encounter a zone. So the ruins and the city, if you want to encounter that zone, you spend an action and draw from the appropriate deck. The quests, some of them require you to use an action to fulfill the quest, so there's a quest action. And then finally there's the camp action. So if you're hurt, you can camp, gain 3 hit points, you untap all of your exhausted cards, and then you can trade with any other adventurer in the same spot or an adjacent spot to you. Does that all kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Let's get this thing going.
So you could, like,
Perfect. We're
right.
gonna leave this group of ghouls and mutants to play this game, and we're gonna thank our host here. Thank you so much for giving us a sense of Fallout, which is coming out again.
End of the year-ish.
Perfect. Thank you.